Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of PandTha Talks.
Hello.
We, as always, are back for yet another week of the weird bullshit that goes on YouTube and the internet in general to do with gaming news.
Something along the lines of that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. We have a bit of a weird one this week. For starters, we have some news about the World's 2023 Gaming Esports Championship.
There's been some weird things this week, hasn't there?
Yeah. We have something to do with information regarding Starfield and what was supposed to happen compared to what actually came out, which is actually quite nice. We have news to do with GTA 6, which feels a bit crazy to say 10 years later.
Honestly, I was expecting it to be even longer.
Yeah, same. We
I
have...
think everyone was.
True. We have news about Modern Warfare 3 and how that's doing now that reviews are able to come out on Steam. Which, oh, that is fun. And the last one that we have to talk about, I'm a little bit gutted to mention, but basically there was a group called the Escapists, they're games journalists. They ended up causing some problems, they've had a lot of issues and a lot of resignations. A lot of people know it due to something called zero punctuation. We're going to slightly discuss the topic of what's gone on there, because it's quite major for the games industry. And yeah, I believe that, to be honest, should be quite a nice talking point this week. Let's get into it then. So, I'll do my usual, sir, where I share my screen. But if you can see, you can see. If you can't, you can't. It's all good.
I think I'll manage.
Cool. We're golden then. So, to start with, we are going to discuss the League of Legends World's 2023 Championship, because as much as I'm not a fan of League, because I've heard of how many people that I know got like addicted to the bloody thing, it's still worth mentioning, and it's quite a large thing to do with gaming overall. So, Weibo Gaming defeat Bilibili Gaming 3-2 to become the first team in the grand finals for the League of Legends Championship. Now, I don't know if you know this, Will, because I'm not going to go far into this, because obviously it's not something I know enough about to be able to discuss with confidence.
You and me both. I don't really
Yeah,
care for League myself. I'm sure you already know that.
yeah, I'm very much the same. But it's the prizes that these teams get paid that I find insane. So, for example here, BLG bow out the competition in 3rd and 4th place and will be taking home $178,000
Jesus.
for coming 3rd and 4th in a competition. So, I'm just going to quickly search this for us. World's 2023 prize pool. So, the prize pool for 2023 is $2.2 million.
That's absurd, man.
Oh, yeah. So, 22% of the prize pool is for first place, 15% of the prize pool is for second place, and 8% of the prize pool for third place. Which, once again, is absurd. It just genuinely is. So, yeah, they get a lot of money for winning these competitions. Some people say it's enough, others people claim it's not enough. Personally, I think fair play to the people who were winning these competitions. Fair play to them indeed.
I'm sure it's a momentous occasion for them.
Oh, 100%. So, the Starfield news I have today.
Yeah, I feel like we've had essentially no updates about Starfield in quite a while.
Well, they have won a couple of awards from what I remember seeing. Same with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk won Best Game Trailer and Best Expansion for their Cyberpunk The Phantom Liberty DLC.
Is it bad that I still haven't got to the DLC?
Yeah, I've not got around to playing it yet. I've had a lot on, and I've been getting back into VR, so,
Yeah, I'll
you
be
know,
honest, I played it. I'm sure you saw I played it for like a week or two. And I
yeah,
didn't. I just started from fresh game, just going around enjoying the game, like not even progressing the story.
yeah,
And then I sort of just haven't really been on it because, again, also VR.
yeah. Just getting back into VR, mate, has been something else. I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be getting some. One moment, I've forgotten the name. The game we were playing the other day.
Sunshine, Arizona.
That's the one. I'll definitely be getting the second one of that because that looks like it'll be a lot better than the first. The first is fun, but I reckon the second one's going to be a lot better for it.
At the time, I couldn't stop playing the first one, man. It was so good.
Oh yeah, it's
It was
definitely
like
got its elements.
it was one of the main games. It was like a multiplayer co-op zombies campaign.
Well, there's been a VR game I've been playing recently, and apparently it's getting co-op soon, which I didn't even know was coming to the game. Uh, it's a game called Ancient Dungeon VR, and basically it's a roguelite where you play in like 16-bit graphics. It's so cool.
In
It's a,
VR.
yeah, it's really enjoyable though, and it's something you
Oh,
just
is that the
wouldn't
one you
expect.
showed before? No, that was a FPS game. Never mind. No, I'm thinking a different game.
That
Never mind.
one's still a good game, but no, it's not that. This
Fair.
one you've
Wait,
got a
wait one
sword
second.
and like throwing
Fair
knife.
one.
No worries.
Sorry.
It's okay. Uh, but yeah, the game, to be honest, is really fun. You get like a sword or and a throwing knife, or I believe there's another option that you can unlock later on. But you unlock like new abilities, stuff like that. It's really enjoyable for such a small premise. But yeah,
Hmm.
VR has been like a bit of a taking over point at the moment.
Yeah.
May or may not have been beating people over the head with rocks in what's it called? Blade and Sorcerer.
Hmm.
That is just brutal, but so much fun. Anyways, the Starfield news. So, one of the voice actors has come out and actually admitted that there was something different originally planned for these two voice actors. So they've posted, yeah, it's true. At Sissy Speaks and I were originally the player voices in Starfield. We worked for months. When they decided the player should be voiceless, they gave Sissy and me, Andrea and Sam Kerr, to voice. Games never do this. Once you're out, you're out. Good on Bethesda. Also, the player efforts are still mine. So when you're jumping around with Sam, both are making the same noises. I will always work with Bethesda because of this top tier respect. And hearing that from a voice actor themselves was quite nice. To think that even after they realised, actually, we don't want you to voice act for these people that we've hired you for, they still proceeded to go, yeah, we'll keep you on, we'll give you someone else to voice act. And
Yeah.
they either created two more characters for this reason, or they had them prepared and was like, no one really fits the bill apart from these two. Which is still damn good. And
I mean,
it's
given
nice
the
to hear.
news we've been hearing the last couple of weeks about all
Yes,
the companies letting so many people go, like it's definitely
exactly.
good to see.
There was actually something that came out the other day. Xbox has partnered with a company, I think it's like AI World or something like that. And one of the major old games journalists came out and said how she will never play a game that has this implemented due to the amount of layoffs that has recently hit the games industry. Which I can understand, and I can respect that. I think it was Alana Pierce that said that. But yeah, I can completely respect the reasoning behind it. At the end of the day, people are losing too many of their fellow their colleagues due to these layoffs, and it's just brutal. It really is brutal.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it must feel like to be in that industry, like wondering if at any moment you're just gonna have an email saying bye with nothing else.
I mean, as someone who's been through that at the beginning of my job, it was a very scary time. You're constantly terrified, like, is this meeting going to be it where I'm told, yeah, I'm no longer needed?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be the next one? Or am I going to be safe? And considering, like, my company did it near Christmas, it was terrifying. And, Christmas has come back around. We've got another big meeting soon. And it's like, oh no, don't you fucking dare.
Time for round 3, I guess.
It is terrifying, though. And I can't even begin to imagine how much more upsetting it was for, like, the Bungie people we spoke about last week, the Bungie employees, who didn't even have a heads up that this was even a possibility. They were just told one day, and that was it. I can't imagine how terrifying that was, and how just brutal.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's really not. But we'll move on to some happier news.
Well, I mean, the Bethesda part was happier news.
True.
It brought a light to the darkness of what's been happening with companies.
Definitely. 100% it has. So Rockstar Games posted this tweet on the 8th of November. Next month marks the 25th anniversary of Rockstar Games. Thanks to the incredible support of our players worldwide, we have had the opportunity to create create games that we are truly passionate about. Without you, none of this would be possible, and we are so grateful to all of you for sharing this journey with us. In 1998, Rockstar Games was founded on the idea that video games could come to be as essential to culture as any other form of entertainment. And we hope that we have created games that you love in our efforts to be part of that evolution. We are very excited to let you know that in early December, we will release the first trailer of the next Grand Theft Auto. We look forward to many more years of sharing these experiences with you all. Thank you, Sam Houser. Which, 10 years after GTA 5, is absolutely insane. And it's probably about 6 years, is it? Since, no, can't be. Red Dead 2, when did that release? 2018. 5 years. That went far off. So, we was just talking about resignations and things like that.
Yeah.
We have something kind of big to discuss here.
Oh.
So, as I briefly mentioned in the intro, there was a games journalist company called The Escapist. Their parent company fired the basically manager, Nick. What's his name? Nick something. Go to Second Wind. That's where I'm going to find it. Nick. Where are you, Nicky? There he is. Nick Calandra. So, Nick was fired from The Escapist. The reason was basically he didn't hit targets, and these targets were basically blooming daft. They were unreachable, according to him. So, he posted saying, I was fired from The Escapist today. I have declined my severance pay and will not be signing an NDA. I'm incredibly proud of everything my team and I achieved over the last 4 years and the community that we built together. Figuring out the next steps now and moving forward. Now, no one expected too much, but Yahtzee ended up resigning. And Yahtzee is the guy who does what's called zero punctuation. I'm not sure whether Will knows what that is, but
Off the name, I definitely wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, it's a YouTube series where basically Yahtzee is absolutely hilarious, this bloke. He reviews video games in about 3 minutes. And he's vulgar about it and just constantly is rabbiting about it quickly. It's really fun. It's short form and the style of it is really basic and simple, but it's amusing to watch. And you can get a quick grasp of whether the game's good or whether it's shit. It's not very difficult to pull apart, you know what I mean?
Gives you some quick insight to the game, basically.
Exactly. And honestly, I have a good time watching them. So, him and so many more people of the Escapist and gamers resigned. Or got fired, to be honest, because the entire, apparently, video editing department was removed. So, he posted, "Today I formally resigned from the Escapist and gamers. I don't have the rights to zero punctuation, but whatever happens, you'll be hearing my voice again soon, in a new place. Join this Discord for updates in the coming days." Now, this was happening, I think it was November 6th to November 7th. Then, out of nowhere, I believe it was November 8th, was it? Something like that? Let's see if November 9th. No, November 8th, it's here. November 7th. Okay, so on the same day Yahtzee resigned, we got something called Second Wind pop up. People found it before they even posted the Patreon. Now, most of what the Escapist did was funded by either the parent company or Patreon to do certain things. Now, because they don't have a parent company, they are fully funded by Patreon. Now, think about this. They came together to create this 4 days ago, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm now going to show you their YouTube and their Patreon. They have 144,000 YouTube subscribers. They had 47,000 when they started their first live, which was an introduction to Second Wind, just explaining what it was going to be 2 days ago. 239,000 views as well. And they streamed a little Connect with some people playing a game. 27,000 views for that. They have put all this together in 4 days. And their Patreon.
They have the name and the knowledge to do it.
Oh, definitely.
Obviously, it's not ideal what's happened to them, but they can definitely pull something out of what's happened to them.
Exactly.
It's not all over for them. As much as it sucks, they know what they're doing.
100% they do. They are pulling this together really well. So, their Patreon page, 707 paid members, 8 posts, $4,176 a month they're bringing in.
Jesus.
They're doing well.
That's their funding going well then.
Yeah, ain't it just?
That's going to allow them to do keep doing what they're doing.
Exactly. And to say they've actually brought with them most of the people who resigned or quit, or who got fired.
I mean, absolutely. I would say the ones that resigned were definitely going with them.
Oh yeah.
The ones that got fired are probably, out of sheer anger and annoyance, gonna go with them as well.
Yeah. But the thing was as well, the reason why Yahtzee followed, for example, a lot of others did, is because what Nick was amazing for, and the reason he was so respected, is because Nick actually ended up pulling most of what the Escapists' changes. He pulled them all through. He made the changes that basically pushed the Escapists further into the light than what it was before. And after 4 years, they got rid of him. And since then, I'm actually just going to pull this up quickly. Let's do this. The Escapist had some videos from Yahtzee and others to post. They were supposed to post his zero punctuation the day after this one. They've not posted in 5 days. They don't have a team to do it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they got rid of them all.
Yeah, they got rid of quite a few, and then the rest resigned.
What I've been
Killed it.
with like all these things have been happening where companies are letting people go and all, like surely at some point there's going to be the equivalent of like a rebellion sparking.
I mean, that's basically what I'd imagine this is. This is in games journalists, yes, but honestly, I have a lot of respect for the entire team that have done this. They're no longer owned by a parent company. They've got free reign to do as they wish, and they're funded by the people. They're wanting to gather other funding, yeah, but they're not going to be owned by anyone else. And that I fully respect. So yeah, much respect to them, and I'm sure they're so happy. I'm actually curious. So the 1.121 million subscribers on the Escapist, and they have 1,949 paid members.
Still a lot.
Yeah. This is how Yahtzee's videos look, though. This sort of like animation of really basic animation style. He was a stickman. That was what he was. So I guess we'll move on to this trash heap of a game.
Yeah. It's not going great for them, is it?
Not particularly, no. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is currently sat at mostly negative. Oh, it's dropped a percent since we spoke about it before the episode started. It's at 30% positive, 2,237 reviews.
So it's just continuously going downhill then?
Yeah. Let's see. It only released, by the way, yesterday. On Steam and that. So,
dear oh dear.
£60 still. £85 Vault Edition.
Well,
£25 for the upgrade.
If we were talking about how we were talking about it last time, you need Modern Warfare 2 to be able to launch the game.
Well, you need to install Modern Warfare 2's game to launch it.
Yeah, and to install Modern Warfare 2, you need to own rights to a copy of it.
I think it'll be a little different due to this, but I know on PlayStation.
I would truly hope so.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how they've done it on the consoles, but I know it'll be different on here. I think it'll be like you'll install Modern Warfare 2, but you won't have access to the campaign, something like that. I don't know why they didn't just call it Modern Warfare Launcher and just do, what every other game does if they want to launch from multiple games from a single launcher. It's not difficult.
Nope.
So, let's have a look at some reviews, shall we?
What are they looking like at the minute?
Oh, not recommended. Same game, $70 update.
Yeah.
Not recommended. This game is the worst game I've ever played. Sledgehammer and Treyarch are smooth-brain potato developers that shit themselves and don't change their soiled pants. They're like, it's great content.
Sounds lovely.
Bought Vault Edition, did not receive Battle Pass, T-Escapes, Blueprint, or Black Cell. Same shit every year. Fuck COD. Fine, I'll buy it to stay in the mix.
That's a spot on review. It is the same shit every year, and the only difference now is it's getting worse.
100%. I mean, what is actually like a bit confusing, especially regarding this, they basically sold this game on FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. But that is how they sold this game.
Yeah.
The campaign is pretty much just DMZ, but significantly slower. Worse, single player, and less fun. It's nothing like the campaign modes of, well, every other COD game. I'd, without a hint of irony or exaggeration, would go as far to say this is the worst campaign so far. If I wanted to play DMZ, I would play DMZ, not the campaign. Simple as.
Yeah.
Multiplayer seems just like a DLC to Modern Warfare 2, with all the guns from Modern Warfare 2 still available. Launching and reloading the game whenever you want to switch from multiplayer to campaign of the same game is incredibly annoying. Oh god, I thought we got past the Black Ops stage.
Nope. I think that's just like the route they're taking permanently now with all their games, which is a bit ridiculous, to be honest.
Right. If World at War can do it right, why can't you? A single launcher for both Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2, but you have to close Modern Warfare 3 and completely relaunch Modern Warfare 2 just to play Warzone or DMZ, and still have to restart after update, after switching in between. You know what? This is the best review. It's just bad. Not even capitalized, just
short
bad.
and simple, like the campaign.
Yeah. The only difference is this is free. Didn't have to pay £70 for it.
True that.
Remember when a DLC was $15?
Remember when there wasn't a DLC, dude?
Yeah. You know what? After this, I've got controversies to talk about, just to, add a bit more to the episode. I've got two old controversies that I want to discuss. And I found them really interesting because I watched a video about it the other day. It was quite fascinating. Remember, game adds less than 20 new guns, reuses all the old Modern Warfare 2 assets, and looks the same. Waste of money. Campaign was garbage, and zombies isn't even worth talking about.
You know what, though? This is what they've been doing with the entire trilogy.
Yeah. Slowly dropping it down.
Like, both Modern Warfare and Black Ops were both meant to be trilogies and left at that.
Yeah.
And all they saw was an opportunity to make even more money out of the same game. And that's all they've done, is make more money out of the same game.
I agree.
And people just couldn't like, take a moment to realize that.
There was a review oh, that's it. Holy shit, this game fucking sucks. You'd have more fun playing COD Mobile than this crap. At least that's free.
See when this whole trend, speaking of COD Mobile, man, when this whole trend of like making versions of PC and console games on mobile that are just awful in general.
Yeah. I'm just waiting.
I never understood the hype of it, the want to play it, or anything about it, to be honest.
Neither did I. This review requires a restart.
That's a good one.
I just like this. Are you wasting my money again, son?
Yep.
Oh, that's fair.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Dad. Wasting way too much of your money.
Tell me this. Have we heard anything about cosmetic purchases in Modern Warfare yet? The new one?
There. Right there.
Nice. Let me guess. Battle Pass, weekly releases, all that jazz.
Correctamundo, my friend.
Yeah, it's just the way games are. But
and
honestly,
premium currency, COD points.
In complete honesty, as long as it's all cosmetic and there's nothing that changes gameplay or gives you an advantage, I prefer that than what it used to be when it was essentially gambling when it all first happened.
No, according to EA, it's surprise mechanics.
No, I was literally talking to a colleague in work about this the other day, and like, I was talking to him about how he remembered how countries were starting to ban the game because it was being considered gambling.
Oh, of course.
And like, to think about a game that's meant to be for fun, where you're meant to buy the game and that's it, that's you. You don't need to spend a penny more, unless you so desire. And they just turned it into gambling.
Exactly. So, I said I have some controversies to discuss.
Yes, you did.
Which is unusual, I know, but these are like old school controversies. I don't mean modern ones. I'm talking about old school ones.
What are you thinking here?
There were two. So, we're going to discuss that.
Okay.
The first one is about Bethesda, who
Right.
effectively created cosmetic microtransactions.
Ah, yes. Ye old horse.
Yes, correct. Horse armor is effectively the first ever cosmetic charge in a video game, which had a massive controversy back in the day. So yeah, effectively, Bethesda were the first people to ever charge you for a cosmetic item in a video game,
Yep.
which is mental to think. But the next one is one that flipped. It basically just fucking confused me. It took me a little bit to properly get it through my head. There was a controversy back in the day when the Atari was out
Oh, God.
because Activision was created to create games. Now that might sound a bit weird, especially to most, but the reason this was such a controversy back then is because what would happen is basically the people who were creating the games would work for Atari, but they wouldn't get any credit. It would be Atari's games. That was it. You would not know who made them games. It was just Atari. So, a group of developers got annoyed about this, and when their contracts were up at Atari, they banded together and created Activision. And the reason it was a controversy is because Activision was the first ever company that created games third party. And they created games for the Atari. And that was a big controversy back in the day. Now, it blows my mind a bit to think that at one time a day, it was genuinely classed as a controversy for people to make their own games for the Atari because they weren't being credited for those games. If that was nowadays, that would be seen as bizarre.
Yep. I mean, let's be honest, on a side note that we're not going to delve into, that's the case for now anything in this world.
Very true, very true. But that would end up political, so we're not discussing that.
Nope.
But,
I find it funny, though, how they essentially waited for their contracts to be up for the company they're working for, leave the company because they dislike their way of going about things, start up their own company, made the same games that they would have made, and then charged them.
Yeah, basically. But they were charging the people for the games. And it became, well, I mean, they did well enough to the point where even now we're still seeing this. We still, to this day, see third-party companies making games for devices they didn't make. But back then, it was perfectly normal for the developer of the device to create the games.
Honestly, there's pros and cons to either of those situations. Like if the dev is making the game, the developer of the device is making the game as well.
Yeah.
He knows more of the ins and outs of how the device works, so he can sort of
100%.
cater to that a bit more. But on the other hand, if it's a separate company making the game, it gives the developer more time and less pressure to make the device even better.
Exactly.
Instead of like having to at the same time work on games, think about where it's going to lead from there with in terms of games, how they're going to work on it, so on and so forth. That sort of jazz.
100%. And as I said, I knew this was something that was a bit out of the ordinary to bring up, but I thought I'd just throw a question. What do you think the games industry today would be like if the only people we could rely on to make games for our PCs was Microsoft? Or the only people that we could rely on to make games for the PlayStation is Sony?
Well,
I mean-
Sony or PlayStation would be fucked.
Well, no, actually, that's kind of what PlayStation does currently, isn't it? Thinking about it.
We saw when they tried to emulate. They clearly have no experience in anything other than themselves. You would definitely see a lot less games being released, that's for sure. Your library would be a massive percentage smaller.
Yeah, 100% it would. The games industry would be nowhere near as big as it is today.
At the same time, though, if you look at how this year's went, do you think we would end up with higher quality games? Because these companies would like be under so much pressure to make sure they are releasing like top quality games that they're kind of forced to make
Well,
sure they're spot on, you know?
that is a very interesting point to bring up, especially considering we've got Call of Duty that recently released, which usually a Call of Duty game takes 3 years to create from start to finish. And this game was created and released in 16 months.
Jesus.
Yeah. So if it had more time, we'd have definitely seen a more higher quality game. But the other question would then be, would the industry have fallen into ruin because they were taking too long to release a game? And would prices be as high as they are now?
Well, they would be higher, to be honest, if you think about it, because
Exactly.
they're definitely going to be getting less money from because they won't have as many games to release.
Exactly. It's the market would be so underdeveloped that I don't think we'd even today I don't think we'd be anywhere near what we are now. I think we'd be miles behind. Probably just that's where we're just there. Yeah, the first 3D games released.
Yeah.
Pixelated Lara Croft.
Oh God. At the same time, again though, like um, games themselves would be more interesting because we wouldn't be as far along as we are, so we wouldn't have seen most of the games that we have seen.
Very true. And, you know, about 2080, we'd probably see Cyberpunk 2077 release.
Well, by then it would probably be called 2155 or something.
Yeah, true, true. Very accurate, very accurate. But, no, I just thought it was an interesting concept overall, especially considering at one time it was seen to be such a bad thing that this third party company was going to be making games. What's so bad about it? Looking back now. But back then, it must have been terrifying, especially for the games industry. Atari must have thought they were going to go out of business because they weren't able to sell games on top. Well, they were, but they just weren't doing as well as Activision's were.
Yeah. If you think another point to look at is imagine back when games were like first coming out and like it was all these like high polygon, low quality graphics, all sorts of stuff like that. Like you were buzzing for those kind of games. You couldn't wait for them to come out. You didn't care how they looked, and you constantly had excitement for every release that was coming.
Oh yeah,
Whereas now it's the complete opposite, and we're just fearing if it's going to be terrible,
yeah,
which, as has been proven from most of the time,
forspoken.
wasn't where I was going with that, but that works, I
I mean,
suppose.
the silence sat there perfectly for it. But no, there are so many games now that we're more afraid what damage it's going to do to the industry than we are happy to see it release. And that is a very concerning way of looking at it, to be honest.
Yeah,
And it says a lot, and it's quite sad that the industry's got to this point. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of respect for anyone who can develop a video game. My hat goes off to you, honestly. I'm so impressed that you've got the skill to do that. But the corporations behind it really need to take a step back when they know fuck all about the industry. They just know, ooh, money.
and that's
Insert
why
Mr.
game
Krabs.
prices are still climbing, quality
Yeah,
of games are declining.
spot on. That is the sad truth of it. And I don't know whether that's going to change anytime soon. As sad as it is to admit.
Yeah.
But that was all I really had to discuss, so there is one other thing I'd like to briefly mention. It's to do with what happened with our YouTube over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I thought it's best we cover this at some point. So, if anyone has at all looked on Twitter, they will have noticed that I sent out a tweet to YouTube themselves about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months, claiming that I did believe, and I am still under that belief, that we were being view-botted. And I also believe that's affected some of the subscriber count, but not entirely. Cannot be 100% certain, sadly. But this was the belief I was under, because when you look at our videos analytics, we can see clearly that most of the traffic is coming from a Facebook group, which is abnormal. That doesn't happen. And when we were getting 1,000 views per video, 97.5% of the views were from this Facebook group. We don't know what the Facebook group is. All I know is it came from Facebook. That's all it said. So, I kind of haven't really discussed this too much with Will, because I didn't really want to damage our enjoyability of what we do each week, because we do this for the fun of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
If anything comes from it, cool. If it doesn't, we don't care. We enjoy talking shit for like an hour or so. It's enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Especially about a topic we enjoy so much. So, fuck off. So, I was kind of a bit disheartened about the whole situation. But,
I mean, I think, to be honest, right deep down, we both knew this was going to happen.
yeah.
Abnormal is the perfect word for just how it shot up the way it did.
Yes.
Unless there was something we did that comes into great recognition, which is such a rarity. It would take a lot more work than what we've done, no matter how much.
100%.
Not saying that we've not put work into this, but it takes a substantial amount more.
Yeah.
Which, with us both working,
it takes a lot out of us.
We don't have that time. So
Yeah.
this is why we do it like on the weekends when we both have the chance.
Yeah.
And I personally was skeptical from the get-go. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, I was.
And I was sort of expecting it to suddenly stop someday, and unfortunately that is what has happened.
Yeah. That occurred last week.
Yeah.
We had kind of anticipated this. But
neither of us said it directly to each other, but I would say we were both feeling it.
100%. And that doesn't mean that we're stopping what we're doing, because as I said,
No,
we're doing this because we enjoy it. We have also, as you can possibly see, we've posted some new content, something completely different from what we usually post. On Wednesday night, it might have been Thursday morning by the time it uploaded, but we posted something called Virtual Roulette that I started. I give it a name.
I see.
Abbreviate it, turns out VR. Virtual Roulette, choose a random game. I thought it fit. So, yeah, we played a bit of the break-in. We gave our thoughts and feelings on that. And it was just something a bit different. It was quite fun to do. And we'll probably do one of them every now and again, just to add something a bit more variety in that I can post midweek.
In fairness, we were going to attempt to do that with just games in general.
Yeah.
Every now and then, Bonding Ambivalence was one of our favorites.
Yes.
But that's a bit harder to do, because to get a game of some sort of decency is more than likely going to cost money.
Yeah.
And how games have been, how games are going at the minute, I don't know about you, but I'm finding it tough to invest any money into a game right now.
Yeah, I definitely am. Arizona Sunshine is probably going to be the second one. It's probably going to be the one that I'll buy next.
We can definitely play the first one.
Yeah.
We can do something with that. There's the horde mode on that, which is kind of fun. It gets really intense.
Yeah.
And then there's the DLCs still to play after the main game. So with Arizona 1, I know it's not top quality, and I know you struggle a little bit with that. especially with no manual reloading. Don't
Oh,
worry, I
mate.
fully understand.
The iron sights. The iron sights.
Yeah, no, they're not great. I will admit. I cannot deny it. I can't defend it because I agree. But it's a good starting point.
Definitely.
It's a really enjoyable game once you get further in. Once you get used to how the game works, it does become bearable.
Yeah. We we will attempt. I'm saying attempt because I'm skeptical that we'll succeed at this, but we will attempt to have a look back at After the Fall. It really depends on whether we get along with the shooting again or not, because
It's-
they did something, and I do not know
Yeah,
what it was. But
no, there's not really any way for us to figure out.
yeah,
But all we can do is give it a look.
yeah. See if it turns out they've sorted it. If not, we'll play a level, probably record that, give our genuine thoughts on it, and I'll add that as a VR roulette. We might do some like playthroughs of a game. It's possible. It just depends on what game we feel like playing and if we have the time and anything else. But we will upload a bit more variety here and there. It's going to be occasional. We'll nail something down at some point. We always do. But we are looking into ways that we can improve, add more. And I just wanted to spend the end of this episode just kind of expressing that. We're not going anywhere. We're still going to continue our bullshit every week.
Absolutely, that'll never stop.
Oh no.
You're stuck with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry to say. If anything comes from this, don't get me wrong, we would be so over the moon about that, and we would be so appreciative to anyone. As we are now. If anyone watches, we can't thank you enough for doing so. It means a lot to us. But
Yep.
we don't expect that. We're doing this for our enjoyability. And if we made it somewhere in the future, we would still just be doing it for the fun, if I'm honest. I can't lie about that. I'd be happy, yeah. But I would still just be doing it to have as much fun as I can. Just the kind of people I think me and Will are, to be honest. We want to have fun, we don't care what else happens.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, mate. My typical motto is I love to laugh.
Oh, yeah. But, we don't live, and, yeah, the other one is a bit awkward too. So, yeah, it's more laugh, 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 not live, laugh, love.
Yeah, no, pretty much. It's bang on.
Yeah, we just spend all this time laughing. That's what we do. But yes, I do apologise for the bit of a ramble there, but I wanted to be just completely honest. Yes, we were view botted. Yes, we had some sub botting and some TikTok follower botting. That's the admission that it's definitely gone on. All I can say is I have found the person who has done such. I did find them. I did send them a message calling them out privately, and I did send their name and information across to YouTube.
Right.
I'm not going to go out there explicitly saying, this is the person. I'm not going to call them out in video or any of that shit. I'd rather not. I'm imagining it was just some silly fucking stupid thing they decided to do, and that is all I can really say about it. I don't want to ruin someone's fucking livelihood, or whatever else because they decided to do something silly.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that should not happen again as long as we don't get any more dickheads in the future. But if we do, let this be a warning, I will find you.
Okay, let's not go throwing that out in
No, I don't mean I'm
on the
going to say
internet.
anything bad. I'm just saying I will find out who you are, I will message you about it, and I will basically just pass you along to the right people. I'm not an idiot when it comes to technology. I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm doing. So I can do that. I'm not going to do anything bad, don't worry. I am an adult, I understand repercussions. Ow. I also understand how silly it is to bang your knee into your desk. Not recommended by any doctor.
I mean, you mind that I smash my head or something off my desk when I'm under my desk?
Yeah, did I ever tell you what? I'm sorry to bring this in. There'll be a part in the Oh no, I didn't record the Arizona sunset one.
No.
But when we were doing that, Will dropped some ammo onto this box, and it fell through the box. So I went to reach down to get it,
Well, it
and
wasn't through the box for me. It's fine.
no, the second time you put it down, it was on the box. It was just the first time it fell into the box for some fucking reason. Anyways, I went down to try and get it while you were trying to get it as well. I then turned around in such a way that I was facing my desk without knowing. I hit my head just as my head was about to go through the box, so my desk is level with that box. So it felt a bit too realistic to me. It felt like I'd hit my head into the box. So yeah, that made me jolt backwards a little bit, I will
Should
be
be dead.
honest. Not recommended. But yeah, that's all I've got for this episode, unless you've got anything you'd like to discuss quickly, Will.
No, all I can say is I'm a god at Rust. People suck. And yeah, it's a terrible game.
All that's bullshit apart from it being a terrible game. That's correct.
Excuse you, sir? Excuse you? How
Yeah,
dare you?
I stand by my words.
I mean, if you just seen the things I've done like the last 3 minutes of gameplay, you would understand.
Maybe, mate, but I'm the one who shares their screen here.
You want me to share?
Nah, I'm fine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I don't like it. I don't want to be proven wrong, and at the same time, I don't want to watch Rust.
No, I can't blame you for that.
Oh dear. But no, thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like, comment, any of the good stuff that you typically do. Please feel free to just drop a comment saying anything at all. We're more than appreciative of even someone spending 5 minutes watching our content. So
Yeah, I said literally, considering recent events, the real ones can comment who they are.
yeah, we'll. I might show a couple of those next episode. It's kind of funny, but yeah, we did get comment botted as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you all very much, and we will catch you all next week. Bye bye for now.
Have a good one, guys. See you again.